take off, take flight with you. For we never fly, but we're flying.
Guys, welcome back to another episode of Take Flight Podcast, episode number 143. As you can tell from the title, this is one of our solo takeaway episodes, and this week hosted by me, Shuwel, one of the 4 members of the Take Flight Podcast team. Now, you already know this by now, but these takeaway episodes are short bite-sized episodes of around 10 minutes, where each of us take turns to share some takeaways and learnings which we think would be of value to others. Now, in this episode, I will be talking about the 5 reasons why I believe traveling has infinite returns and is applicable both personally and professionally. Now, recently, I've been able to experience travel with groups of friends, catching up with some friends in Greece recently, and this was a group of friends that I made while living in Tokyo in Japan for 2 years. It was the first time that we've been able to catch up in almost 3-4 years, so it was really nice to catch up all together in person in a beautiful location in Mykonos. As well as I also had the chance to travel recently, this time in a location where I am based in Copenhagen in Denmark, but actually having my friends from home, university in London, friends from Switzerland, Japan, Sweden, and Denmark all be together in Copenhagen and celebrate a very big milestone together. Now, during those experiences, it really made me reflect on why traveling is such an enriching experience and why I believe everyone should, if they get the opportunity to travel, really make the most of that. And these recent experiences really made me appreciate the value of this and also the value of building relationships through traveling over time. Now, some context. So for me personally, up until the age of 21, I had only been to 3 countries in my life. The UK, where I was raised, Bangladesh, where my parents are from, and a third country. Now, growing up, travel was not on our family's to-do list. And if I'm honest, I didn't know what I was missing out on because, you don't know what you don't know. Now, at the age of 21, I had the chance to move to Switzerland for an internship. It was only for a summer. And that was the first time for me to visit the country of Switzerland and also the first time living alone abroad. And that experience all the way back in 2012 really ignited a passion in me about traveling and really being able to experience new cultures and pushing myself to be in new environments to see what I could do. Now, since then, in the last 10 years, I've been able to live internationally. So I've relocated countries 5 times across Europe and Asia. And with that, I've also been fortunate enough to travel to more than 60 countries by the age of 30. Now, as mentioned at the beginning of the episode, during these 2 recent trips with different friendship groups, I really appreciated the benefit that traveling has had on me and on my life, and also where I've been able to apply it both in business and personally. Now, the 5 reasons why I believe traveling has really an infinite return on your investment are the following. So number 1, the idea of doing things when you can now versus later. So during my 20s, I had the opportunity to travel solo across Asia, Central America, Europe, also traveling with groups of friends where during those periods we had a lot less responsibilities financially and personally. Now also, since then, inflation and the costs of traveling has just continued to increase. The pandemic happened and some of the areas that we loved to visit in the past are now just not that accessible. So I think there's a power in knowing that you have a particular window to experience the world and really go for it. And this is periods of your life where maybe it's before you have a partner, or maybe it's wanting to travel together with a partner before you have a family, or before you have multiple mortgages to worry about. So I really think it's important for us, especially in our 20s or our younger years, to make the most of it when it comes to travel. And I think this is a principle that you can apply to business. It's easier to take risks now in your 20s and 30s than waiting until later. And of course, it's not impossible to do these things in your 30s or 40s or later and beyond. But really, if you get the chance to do it now, I personally have benefited from doing it now because it was a lot easier to travel 5, 7, 10 years ago than it is now. And now it really takes a lot of effort, not just on my side, but with the people that I'm traveling with as well. So if you can, do it now versus later. Another reason why I think traveling has an infinite ROI and return on investment is learning the ability to start from scratch. Now, as mentioned, I relocated countries 5 times, each time to a country that doesn't have English as their first language. 2 of those years I spent in Japan, all the way on the other side of the world, and being in a time zone which is 8 hours away from my friends and family at the time. Now, when you're in this situation, you need to make it work. Now, from those situations, I learned how businesses operate in different countries in different parts of the world. I learned how to meet people and reintroduce myself and get to know people who have similar interests, as well as having to build relationships personally and professionally to ensure that the things that I'm working on are moving forward. Now, through those experiences, I know that I can be chucked into any environment in most parts of the world and not just be okay, but find a way to grow and collaborate together with people. Now, this is an extremely powerful skill, not just in life, but also business. And this has proven to me time and time over again when I'm in new environments, that having that confidence to know that not only will I be okay, but I can grow and connect with people. It's really something that has helped me in many other situations since then. So that second value of learning the ability to start from scratch has also been priceless when it comes to travel. Now, the third reason why I believe traveling has infinite returns is also understanding that we are all very similar. Now, this is a personal realization. The media can portray that we are very different and wanting different things and all of these conflicting issues. But what I've realized is what frustrates people on one side of the world 90% of the time frustrates people also on the other side of the world. And you realize through these experiences and through going to these different places that how similar we all actually are. And we mostly just want to be treated with respect, be allowed to live a life that we want while also being surrounded by people that also want the same. And we are all actually more similar than different. And this applies really in business also when we are collaborating with potential partners or someone who's on the other side of the table. There are moments where it can be very frustrating actually, and it seems like you're not on the same page. But just getting to grips and understanding that we are the same, we do have very similar wants and needs. And however difficult it seems at times, if you spend some time to understand those similarities, this can put you in a good position over the long run. So this is something that I realized very quickly while traveling early on, is understanding that we are actually very similar. Now, reason number 4, understanding that relationships make the world go round. So every experience that I've had, the value has always come from the people that I've met and the relationships that have been created. Now, over 60 countries later and 5 country relocations, the people that I've been able to become friends with, and some of them have really become family, that in itself is priceless. Now I'm fortunate enough to be able to travel to major cities across the world and have dinner with a friend who lives there already, who can show me around and really provide to me the local experience much quicker than if I was there fresh as a tourist. Now, on top of that, it's also allowed me to access a network around the globe where if I wanted to understand business in a particular country or geography or even a particular industry that maybe specialize in certain parts of the world, this network has allowed me to have someone or people or a group of people that I can call, that I can speak to, and I can just understand directly from them their perspective. Again, this is something that comes over time, but these are relationships that have proven priceless and continue to compound for the better over time as well. So the more you see of the world, the more relationships you can build, and really you understand how relationships make the world go round. Now, number 5, last but not least, why I believe traveling is so important, it's really to create memories with the people that matter. Now, this goes back to what I was saying at the start of the episode. During those 2 recent trips, just as an example, one was friends from Tokyo where we caught up after a long time because of the pandemic. I have to do a shout out here to Jared as well for organizing an amazing trip and the rest of the gang who made that experience so good. And then the recent trip that I just also mentioned where I had some of my best friends from around the world visit me in Copenhagen. We had a group of 18 of us in the end. And these memories that we made, how can you put a price on that? Sitting there in Copenhagen and just looking at everyone, enjoying each other's company, and us sitting there and really in live time making a lifetime worth of memories. This stuff is priceless. You cannot put a price on these things. And then I reflected even more. The trips that I've had with my family where I saw my dad on his first vacation after having a stroke, eating pizza while overlooking Lake Como, or seeing my mother, for example, who hates taking pictures anywhere, while on vacation together in Switzerland, pulling out her camera phone and she can't stop taking pictures. Or even the opportunity where I had of bringing my brothers from the UK to Japan and experiencing Japan together with them and traveling with friends and all of these things in between. Now, these are moments which we remember and we talk about now. And in some cases, we still talk about moments and experiences from traveling together from years ago, and we still talk about it today. Now, these moments aren't guaranteed or promised, so I really think it's up to us, if we can, to make sure that we try to make these memories with the people that matter before it becomes too late. So, In summary, why I believe traveling has infinite returns and why I think it's applicable both professionally and personally. 1, doing it now when you can versus waiting until later. 2, the ability to start from scratch anywhere in the world in any situation. 3, understanding that we all are actually very similar. Number 4, relationships make the world go round. And number 5, creating memories with the people that matter. So that's it. I hope this episode has been useful. In case you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. You can find me on LinkedIn, Shuwel, Shuwel, or Instagram at Shuwel1. Please make sure to check out our previous takeaway episodes in case you haven't, as well as our Take Flight Talks episodes where we talk to different leaders in their space. The last interview with Kazi was a phenomenal one. If you haven't done so already, please do also subscribe to us on whichever platform you listen to us on. Leave a review if you have 30 seconds to spare, or even share this with someone who you think may find it helpful. We'll be back next week with a new episode for you, the flyers. Keep on taking flight and flying high.
Take off, take